Well, I'm back again, and this thing here is not a radio. This thing is the, well, this one here is the vent control between the floor and the vent up top for AC and heat in my 04 Honda Pilot. This is the underneath here. This is underneath the driver's side. And I'll just show you what I got going on here. It's actually, this isn't the issue. This is more just for visualization. I have the and if you ever need this, this is the part number right there. You don't even have to get underneath your own vehicle if you have an 04 Honda, sometimes even the Odyssey. So this is just basically the up and down. So if you want it on the floor or if you want it on the vent, this is basically a motorized flapper. So that's what I call it, it's actuator. But I'll just show you what this thing does. So if I will go ahead and change the mode on my vehicle, say I want it on the floor, see how cool that is, that's motorized. But yeah, that basically just changes it, flaps it down here, or hit it again, it'll go to another location, hit it again, there it goes, back down to the top there. So yeah, you could mix and everything like that. But yeah, so this is kind of the same thing what I have going on here, but it's between the hot and the cold. I don't have AC at the moment, and if I do, it's the same temperature regardless. And it's not that cool. In South Carolina, that is not, you can't go very long without that. So we have this all year round anyway, so we need to get this fixed. It's been like this for a while, but I'm just tired of sitting there swimming in my vehicle as I'm driving down the road sweating. So I have to go to the passenger side to show you, but this is just basically what we have going on between the heat and the AC. That's the same kind of device right here that'll control that. So I'll go over to the other side here. But yeah, that's basically just right underneath. And there's the steering wheel. And yeah, so that's basically, just go right by the brake pedal, gas pedal, and you'll see that. And that's the one that goes up and down between the floor and the vent. And it's not the actual problem, but I wanted to check that too, just make sure this was actually working properly and give you a visualization. So let's go to the other side of the vehicle where the actual AC and heat control is. Similar device, and we'll get into that. Okay, now we're on the passenger side. Pulled this housing out underneath it here, just pulls out with the tabs, no big deal, just pull and rip. Usually that corner right there, and you can rip the whole thing out. And we're underneath again, and there we see our device. It's right there. Now there's the movement arm, and let's go ahead and try the different modes. So we should see that the yellow pull in between. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Everything I use doesn't focus. So that should move when I change AC. So we're on low right now. On the AC side, I'm going to the high side on the, yep, there it is, not moving at all. It's now in full heat mode, and temperature's not changing. It's not fully cold, it's not fully hot. So that thing looks like it's about stuck in the middle. So we're gonna have to take this is the same bugger. So we're gonna see if that's all buggered up, and pop this tab off, get inside this unit, pull these little screws, and take this assembly down, and see what we have going on in this. So not a technical video technically, but technically yes it is, because this is electronics. So we're staying true to the channel, but also giving a little bit of advice and a little bit of help here for people that may have some AC issues in the summertime, because yep, it's about that time when you need AC services in the summertime, just like when you need new wiper blades when it's raining out. So we'll go ahead and pull this off and bring this inside to the bench. Back. Yep, we got this thing off the vehicle inside where it's nice and cool. Literally lost 10 pounds just trying to stay outside. I can sweat through a snowstorm if you gave me a chance. So we're gonna have to pull this apart. So it's a little tab there, little tab there, little tab there, little, you know, all four corners. And yeah, that's where the metal bar went through. All you have to do is take the needle nose and basically with the bar through it. That's on the top side. You just push down and pull up at the same time, and that'll release from the bottom. Now we can get inside here. What I think this thing is just gummed up. These things are expensive. They're like 130 bucks. And you can take these apart, and a lot of times what it is it's crudted inside with the connections. Grease, gunk, and everything else gets inside it. Just be careful with these tabs when you pull them up. You don't need a lot of pressure. It's a very small, it's a small little divot right there. Well, not divot. It's a little raised up piece. So all you need to do is just enough to pull it on there. Any more than that, and you will snap these tabs. So let's go ahead and get inside this thing. I'm going to put the phone down here. I've probably seen a lot of better video quality because my phone is unbelievable compared to the GoPro. So let's go ahead and get into this. And if we can't fix it, well, there's the model number. It's a Densco model here. And we'll see what we can get up. All right, so we got the case off it. And as anticipated, a couple of clips did snap off, but it's not too terrible. This kind of plastic's been sitting in the heat and cold and 17 years worth. But yeah, when this all goes back together, the clips that are there will still hold together, and then of course all the screw holes mounted will hold it all together as well. So it's not the best thing, but it's not any worse than where I'm at right now. So what we're gonna do, see inside here is pretty familiar to people. It's like an RC car motor. A lot of motors like this use still, and that's pretty much all it is. Glorified, control for that actuator. So I'm going to go ahead and hit power to it and just go into 12 volts, just like the vehicle. And if we don't have movement, then we know this piece is bad, and it's this motor. That's pretty much all this whole thing is this motor and the gears. So if this motor's bad, can you believe that'd be $100 worth to get a whole new assembly? Let's hope for the best here. Let's see what we get. Oh, good. Look at that. It's moving around. It's moving around. It's doing exactly what it needs to do. So this is good. So why doesn't it work? A little bit more digging into this here, and we'll find out exactly. Let's see. This is just mostly for my reference here. This is the piece that you have to wedge away from the other side here. That's where the gear is. Basically, you just push it towards, towards that way, and then this piece will slide off, and then we're able to get right into the other side here. And this is the gear. This is, okay, so this is pretty much it. We see, look at all that. You can see what the issue is? I can definitely see what the issue is. There's some more issues here. It's dirty as all get out. Dirty enough where it looks like it kind of burned up a little, or it's just full of trash. Those shouldn't look like that at the end. It should look just the same as it does down here, and that's all grease and junk. So this is not terrible. This is less, and actually I looked it up, it's more than $150 for this assembly piece. So good news as of right now. Motor works. I think we're going to go ahead and clean all of this. Look at that. It's and all that trash out of it. And I think that this thing's going to work. And I think I'm going to actually have nice, cool AC. So let's go ahead and clean that up and see what happens. Because yeah, all the power goes in through here, gets assembled, and this tells everything where it should be or needs to be. So yeah, that's interesting. But we'll go ahead and get that back together after we clean it up and see what happens. Well, this shouldn't look like this right here. I'll tell you, my luck is always something right there. I'd probably lose the lottery if I was the only one playing. So yeah, those teeth have definitely ate into to this tracks here quite significantly. You can see that whole area is kind of like it was lopsided on some aspect. Not sure if that's going to work or not, but like I said, I'm not dealing with much because I don't have anything that is working now. So what I'm going to do is give it a test run here and see if we can get this back in. I threw just a very thin layer of dielectric grease on the on this after cleaning it out, and we'll go ahead and all those contacts are all well, not nice and clean, but well, yeah, pretty much. It's depending on the angle, it looks terrible, but yeah, if you're actually looking straight on, you can see how shiny those contacts are at the very end. That's exactly what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble this again, and we'll see if that's actually going to be an issue or not. And if that's going to be an issue, I may have to come up with a different plan or just manually run my AC. But we'll get there when we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Hopefully we'll be crossing that bridge with air conditioning, cold air conditioning. So yeah, that seems to be about my only issue. Everything else looks kind of nice. Motor works. Let's go ahead and reassemble this, give it a good test run. I'm not even going to assemble it into the vehicle yet. I'm just going to actually plug in the jack and see where this thing goes. And I just want to see movement and see if it sticks. If this, you know, it's pretty much open traces right there. That's a circuit board. So that is not producing electricity, so I've got to see, possibly on this side, these pins here, where those are, let's see, we got to flip it over, use our big old thinking cap. So yeah, we got to make sure that this makes contact. And we'll do that just by plugging it in and testing it real quick, and if it does work, and we're able to move back and forth between hot and cool, and this thing doesn't stop in between, then we're all right for that. But yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to say, oh yeah, let's throw it all back together, mount it, and call it a day. Everything's great and grand and happy. Because yeah, that's not what it should be. It should look like all the other pieces solid there, those traces. But definitely been etched in by this thing either being stuck going back and forth and not moving. But yeah, the gear's moving fine. Everything was moving when we powered it up, so we know we don't have any obstructions within the device itself. So if there's any other obstructions, it'd be in the pilot where the cables connect to this unit. So fun troubleshooting, but let's see if we actually made any progress. All right, like I said, we just got this temporarily hooked up, left the cover off just for the visualization purposes, make sure everything's spinning around properly, nothing's getting jammed up, gears stripping, especially plastic gears. You don't even usually hear them. You hear it grind, and then usually sometimes a snap, especially the way these things are nice and old. So let's go ahead and see if this moves from hot to cold. So I'll go ahead and go change it. There we go. Look at that. Well, shoot. It's getting spun up here, but shouldn't be hanging like that. Let's see if we get some movement out of this now. I just got this hooked up just kind of down and dirty without the cover. Just make sure we're getting a good flow throughout the gears and nothing's jammed up in these things. So I'm going to go ahead and real quick go ahead and throw the temperature down and see if this thing moves or not now. There we go. We got movement. Well, let's see if it goes back. It sure does. Awesome. Okay, there's that unit back and installed again, and it is somewhat operational. Those traces that I thought would be an issue kind of are. Once we get into running the heat and get up to about 80, 85 or so degrees, and we try to drop back down to AC, yeah, it doesn't it doesn't drop back down to AC at all, so it stays stuck right there. It makes sense. There's no contacts right there because the traces are etched out from I guess grinding away back and forth on that unit. So instead of $150, I'm going to keep it in the AC mode and keep it low, and don't try and keep it up that high because I think there's about 6 cold days in South Carolina I have to deal with, and it's sporadic between December, January, and February. But it's not a big deal. If I do need heat, I can take this unit out and manually, just manually pull those flappers open. I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, this actuator is like 150 bucks, and just my luck, I can't just fix it. Got to have some replacement parts, and I just need the gear assembly, and you got to buy the whole thing. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to say, yeah, it's fixed. I'm not going to be driving down the road just sweating crazy. So that's good. All right, well, this is another video in the books, nothing too exciting, but maybe it'll help someone else out and cool them off just as well. So yeah, we'll get back to the radios again. I got some other edits to do. It's such a pain to do, so it's kind of troublesome because I start editing, it takes me away from doing other work, and you just got to get some time and do it. But we'll see you in the next video. Appreciate it. See y'all next video.